name's Matt. My dad was diagnosed with Parkinson's disorder, and I want to know, am I at genetic risk for Parkinson's?
Hi Matt, I'm really sorry to hear about that. Here at the Parkinson's Disease Project, we hope to give our clients a little bit of security, and let's see what we can do for you here today.
Every year, 60,000 new cases of Parkinson's disease are recorded, and around 13 out of every 100,000 people in the U.S. have the condition. Parkinson's disease is a progressive disorder that starts in the nerve cells in the brain, specifically a region known as the substantia nigra, which controls bodily movement. The cells in this region are responsible for dopamine production, so they manage the communication between the brain and the muscles. In those diagnosed with Parkinson's, the nerve cells will become impaired and/or die, and the brain will become unable to control muscles. This often leads to symptoms such as trembling or shaking, especially when resting, impaired balance and coordination, depression and visual hallucinations, slow movements, dementia, and the inability to move. So what could be the cause for such a serious disease? Oftentimes, there are many contributing factors. Approximately 15% of Parkinson's disease cases are due to genetic inheritance, while the remaining 85% are caused sporadically by environmental factors or age. Research is still inconclusive on whether environmental factors, from coffee to pesticides, could affect one's gene expression, otherwise known as their epigenetics, and cause the disease. Therefore, there is a strong limitation in genetic testing and the fact that most cases of Parkinson's disease cannot yet be identified with a genetic test. However, if Parkinson's disease does in fact run in your family, there's a possibility for inheritance, so why risk the gamble? This is where the Parkinson's Project comes in.
While there are other genetic tests on the market, they are often incomplete in their examinations. 23andMe, for example, only examines the G2019 variant and the LRRK2 gene, and the N370S variant and the GBA gene. Yet there are up to 26 genetic variants that contribute to Parkinson's disease. Because the research on how these genetic factors interact is presently incomplete, there is a special importance on measuring the variations that we are sure of. Hence, we've identified 3 autosomal dominant genes for you that, when a person inherits even just one of the causal variations of it, it will directly cause Parkinson's disease. They occur on the SNCA, LRRK2, and the VPS35 genes. 23andMe only investigates one of these, the LRRK2 gene. This gene increases LRRK2 protein kinase activity, and when mutated, it affects both neural and non-neural pathways during vesicular trafficking. In turn, this affects neurite outgrowth, cytoskeletal maintenance, the regulation of autophagy, and immune functioning. While a review written by Jay Asley mentions, the risk of Parkinson's disease for J2019S mutation carriers increased to be 28% at 59 years, 51% at 69 years, and 74% at 79 years, there are still 2 whole other genes that the 23andMe test is missing. Imagine how much these genes could also tell us about one's risk. Don't worry, however, because we've got you covered.
We test the 2 missing genes, SNCA and VPS35. SNCA is the gene with the highest association with Parkinson's disease. Can you believe 23andMe really missed it? SNCA is an autosomal dominant gene that is responsible for making the protein alpha-synuclein. This protein is found largely at the tips of nerve cells in the brain within areas called presynaptic terminals. In this manner, they influence the release of neurotransmitters such as dopamine from synaptic vessels, which directly contribute to the ability to stop and start movements. Hence, the protein alpha-synuclein may also cause neighboring cells to degenerate, thus worsening the effects of Parkinson's disease. It has a variant disease association score of 0.860, so this gene is highly associated with the trait of Parkinson's disease. Since the normal function of this gene is to contribute to the larger function of maintaining the presynaptic terminals, specifically with dopamine in the brain, heart, and muscles, high levels of its expression may have a role in the neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's disease. Though technological advancement has led the way to accurate and powerful genetic tests, there are still a variety of considerations which should be understood prior to administering this test. Parkinson's disease is measured to be around 20% genetically linked, and one should seek a genetic counselor prior to taking this test. Evidence of genetic risk is correlational based on current medical evidence. Genetic risk isn't necessarily the only driving risk factor for the development of Parkinson's disease. More specific considerations and risk include financial concerns. Depending on local and regional law, your medical insurance may inquire about information from genetic tests you've had done. Evidence of increased disease risk could lead to higher insurance premiums. Emotional considerations include Parkinson's is a disease which, though treatable, has no cure. Though the genetic test is only correlational, it's possible the knowledge could cause distress from the test taker and their family. There are also social risks at play. Be sure to check laws regarding the privacy of genetic information in your country. There is a potential risk for genetic discrimination in regions with weak laws on the use of genetic information.
I hope this information helped you, Matt, and we hope to see you at the clinic sometime soon. Thank you for watching.